It's been great. It was a year or so ago, I think we got the 10MX clock in. And I've got friends at Metropolis, master engineers, and they were raving about the clocking. So as we've got multiple interfaces on all our rigs, we thought, right, let's try that out. And I was a bit sceptical at first and thought, oh, it's not really going to make that much of a difference. Phil Brown was in with Maxi Jazz and the E-Type Boys, and that was when we were trialling out the 10MX, and yeah, it was an instant, right, yeah, we have to have this. We were A/B-ing it and it was a night and day difference, and stereo imaging was great. The bass and the focus just was so much clearer between how we'd been clocking it off the Avid stuff before and the Antelope, so it was, yeah, an instant purchase. And then there's another engineer here, Robbie Nelson, and I think he's got your Orion 32 and has been raving about that as well. So yeah, I thought I'd have to get some of your gear and check it out. With the 10MX, it was just, you could hear the space around the instruments and definition between things, and felt like you could reach into your mix more. Even at the tracking stage, I think it influences decisions and that you make, and I think a lot of people, like new people in the industry, look at mixing and engineering as, oh, there'll be one silver bullet that will fix this problem, when it's 10,000 micro decisions. And when you can have something that enables you to make those decisions much quicker and trust what you're hearing, it makes everything flow a lot quicker. One of the things we're prized for here at RAK is the sound of the rooms and the sound of the gear, and enabling you to hear those differences and hear the space around things and hear the sound of the room. I think that definitely comes forward, and that extra detail is captured, and the clock helps us capture it. The 32 HD I'm really excited to try out, because I think for so many years, if you had a Pro Tools HD system, you had to get those interfaces and you were locked into it, whereas I think people are much freer now and will try different things. And again, having 1 year of space with 32 and out, and the flexibility of having MADI, having HD and USB is great for us here, because we have so many different kinds of sessions, and we'll have laptop producers that will come in and put 2 faders up the desk and that's all they use, and being able to just hook up with a USB cable and have everything available to them, I think will hopefully inspire them to use, because it's easy to use everything in the studio, as opposed to, oh, it's too much effort to get this working and it won't work with my system. I think the Orion HD will be a big thing for us, and we're midway through an upgrade cycle of equipment here, because we're slowly moving to the new Mac Pros and new interfacing. And I think flexibility in systems is one of the great things. And yeah, as I said, we might have to buy another clock as well, Master 10MX. But yeah, we'll see about that. The most use I've had is with the clock here at RAK. I've just finished an album with John Williams, classical guitarist, and that was all recorded at a 96K and just needed a pristine signal path. And yeah, the whole recording was clocked with the 10MX, and again, I did a quick check and turned it off and clocked internally and then switched back. And yeah, night and day difference in that clarity and space around things. And with classical music, it's all about that detail that you want to hear, and that helps bring it out, I think. I think it's a really interesting way things are going, and especially as people are moving away from DSP systems, having it built into the interface, I think is a really good idea and really interesting. And I suppose you guys are leading the way with that sort of thing as well. An interface, it's something that you don't want to think about. I think you just want to know that you've got the best available and trust. And I think that's the main thing, is that you can trust in your equipment and get on with the process of making music. When you have to doubt and think about those bits of gear that just need to be invisible and work, that's when it becomes a problem. And I think having those solid drivers that make it work and you're not getting crashes and errors, you've just got something, you know, rock solid, and you can forget about it, which allows you to be more creative, as opposed to being a computer IT engineer trying to fix problems, or thinking that what you're hearing isn't quite right, and am I trusting that I'm making the right decision by EQing this, or making level decisions while I'm tracking. I like using outboard gear and plugins while I'm tracking and mixing, so being able to have that interfacing option is really great. I was looking for a new monitor controller, and it's the sort of bit in your chain I think a lot of people don't really think about, but that's probably the most important bit in your chain. You just need to trust what you're hearing. And so I've used that at my home studio, which I've got set up as a mix room and production room. And being able to flick between different sets of monitors, which I do all the time when I'm mixing, and setting the trim levels on the different set of speakers has been really great. So I've got that set up working, and also being able to sum signals together is a real bonus as well. But it's just one of those bits of gear that almost you not noticing it is the best thing, that it just fits in. And also another thing that I didn't think I'd need that much are the individual headphone mixes as well, which I can set up with it from different sources, yeah, which has been great. The Satori has been a great help, just probably speeding up workflow and being able to check things really quickly and setting the trim levels and headphone mixes. I think trusting what you're hearing has been great.